Well, the bans are coming through fast and furious to start things off. Jace and Thresh dropped away from Daydreamin and Zion, Spartan, and Jinte. Yeah. And the Diana Gragas bans against Dignitas. Man, you called these at the start.
Caitlyn, obviously, for Don't Match Me there. He still has his Twitch open, so we might see him pick up that. The Shen is the last ban that they decide to go for Dignitas here, and immediately Scar locks in the TF, both for the global presence on his team, but also denying that from Jinte. It's one of Jinte's favorite champions.
That is going to be interesting, actually, because I remember Scar ran TF once, like last week, week before, and it didn't look too great.
Yeah.
And now it's GG's turn to think about that. I mean, is that a smart choice there? He didn't do well last time.
I think it's a good choice, not only because of the global presence they had. Even if he did have a bad time last time he used it, you have to get that away from Jinte, because they've practiced a bunch of strategies where GGO are counting on having a TF mid. So if you take that away, then Jinte will be forced to go with maybe his Ryze or his Lux or something like that.
All right, so we'll see what they end up doing with the leftover mid lane picks. GGU have already grabbed Ezreal and Elise, so 2 E's so far for GGU.
Nintendo has not been shy about his love for Elise. He's picked her whenever she's available, one of his favorite junglers, because as soon as you hit level 3, you just have so many ganking tools, and he really likes to go aggressive early, and they said that's one of the main points they're looking for against Dignitas, is to not let Crumbs get the solo lanes rolling. So Nintendo's going to do a lot of early game pressure here to try and contain that.
Well, Dignitas right now, we're looking at a couple of interesting options, but they've actually locked in the Draven here, so do or die time for Dignitas, and they're going back to that comfort Draven pick for PewDiePie.
So both these teams are like, yeah, the other guys are really predictable, and they seem to have chosen the same champions here. The Draven is, PewDiePie's been going back to that Draven over and over again. He's a very strong early game AD carry, but he's very snowbally, so if you don't get him going, then it's going to be hard for them to finish off the game.
Well, it's interesting because speaking of getting going early on, they've already locked in the Blitzcrank here for Daydreamin.
And he's one that's really good at punishing. Mispositioning here. And Draven, he's very, very position dependent, because you have to be picking up the axes, and there's a giant glowing circle saying, I'm going to walk right here. So Daydreamin will have an easy time if he wants to try and grab that one. And he's so at home on those hook champions. His favorite is Thresh, Blitzcrank, pretty close.
All right, and there we go. The last 2 picks here picked up for Dignitas. We're seeing a couple of new things. We've got both Zac and Lee Sin grabbed here.
All right, it's going to be time for some more Zac attacks. That could be a top lane or a jungle right now, because like you said, Lee Sin, he can also switch to either of those roles very easily. So we'll have to wait till the last couple seconds before they finish switching around. But this team does look pretty solid for Dignitas here. Zac is a very tanky champion. If you want to build him that way, he can also build AP heavy, but it looks like they're going to need him to be that disruptive force in the team fights here.
All right, so you've got 1 pick left for GGU, which I guess could be a top lane or a jungler. You mentioned Nintendo loves the jungle Elise, but looks like that is likely the situation. They're looking at Riven right now as their time ticks down.
That definitely would fit Zion Spartan very well. He's an aggressive top laner. He's along the lines of Mega Zero, where he loves to have the 1 versus 1. He likes to try and carry the team. And Riven is a good champion to do that, usually building very AD heavy, because you get a little bit of defense with that shield scaling with your AD, so you kind of get the whole package there.
Okay, so the lineups are in fact locked in here. Dignitas left-hand side, GGU on the right. Kobe, break me down these teams.
All right, so right off the bat, Jinte, he's bringing his global presence again. He's not the most lane-dominant mid that we see, and so he has been using those champions like TF and Karthus to sort of add that extra edge to the rest of his team. He's gone that here, so he's going to add a little bit, and any gank that Nintendo tries to pull off early will be aided again by the extra damage from his Requiem. Meanwhile, Dignitas, they've gone with their patented very early game focus here, and the Draven Sona lane is really going to be the key to this one, because whoever gets stuck in that lane is going to be taking a lot of hits.
Actually dropped 0-2 to KT Rolster B and Gambit, so hopefully the NA teams have learned to BO3 themselves. We're into the game, of course, in Game 1. Dignitas in blue, GGU in red, and they're leaving their bases.
All right, Kiwi Kid taking that Zac to top lane, so very similar to like we saw in the EU. We're going to have a solo lane at least. You never can tell exactly where Dignitas are going to send their solos. He's going to be a little bit more tanky this way, and he doesn't have to build. He doesn't have to start out with that Hunter's Machete. He's instead got a Fortitude Elixir.
Okay, so Good Game University early on, they put down some early wards. They had Mash Me poke out, look for people in the brush, put a ward down. Actually, both teams are going to see that upper sort of brush right there, as GG are still running across the map. Looks like Skara has spotted them run around the side. GGU still looking to make some early moves.
Yeah, I mean, as everyone in solo queue is well aware, when you see a Blitzcrank on the other team, it means that they could definitely be going for invades, because a hook into 5 people at level 1 usually means death. So there's a very level 1 heavy team that GGU have, and Dignitas doing the smart thing here, warding up, trying to spread out so they don't get caught off guard.
Okay, well, GGU have put an early aggressive ward down. Crumbs did spot out the enemy team. We're 30 seconds away from the major buff spawning in all 4 corners of the map. We'll see who ends up looking at what. Right now, it's still Dignitas with a defensive position, looking in a lot of different places. And GGU, they're going into the jungle again.
Zion has already recalled and gone top, so this is pretty dangerous to do a sort of delayed invade here from GGU. Daydreamin comes back out. He waited a few extra seconds to put down those wards around red buff, just so they'll have a few more seconds of vision and they don't run out too quickly.
Okay, so Kiwi Kid is actually going to be top lane Zach here, and he's actually going to spot Zion Spartan, and Zion actually wants to go in for the pressure here, puts a bit of damage back, and they're starting to trade hits. This will be an interesting match, as the rest of their team is still running around in the bottom half of the map here, and it looks like Karthus is putting in a pretty heavy helping hand on the blue buff.
All right, so the Zion Spartan getting that golem is pretty big because he's got experience advantage, but Kiwi Kid did see that he got, so he's not going to be surprised by the all-in Riven level 2. He's going to be expecting it, and he can play accordingly. He can back off.
Yeah, that could be actually pretty big for him right there. They're actually trading blows again here, both down about half health at level 1, chugging through their potions. Of course, both opened red elixir as well. Looks like the blue buff did go to Crumbs. Yeah, he did pick that up for himself with Smite. We did see a friend come by real quick, and they're still kind of milling about, but it's a 2v1 mid lane. We've seen this a little bit before. Yeah,
this is definitely a Dignitas signature strategy, but now it's GGU using it against them. When you do have that Blitzcrank, there's always the danger for Skara. If he gets pulled, it could be bad news. Meanwhile, up in that top lane, I want to point out something interesting that Zion was doing. He went and stepped on the Bloblet after Kiwi Kid spawned it. You can actually stomp those and kill them before Zach's able to get them and regen. So I'm really glad Zach's in this game, so we can point out a whole bunch of little tricks here. That's the first of many.
All right, there we go. We see the bottom lane, though. It's Cutie Pie basically actually 1v1ing up against Jinte, because Patoy supporting Skara over in the mid.
Yeah, Draven actually very strong 1v1 straight up against Karthus. The only thing is we have Nintendude waiting in the wings to come for a gank.
He's going forward. Oh, he does not quite land the cocoon, but will they put down enough pressure? Jinte without Wall of Pain, not able to actually add much there, so good dodge there by Cutie Pie.
I'd say Cutie Pie's lucky to get away from this one, but he's still going back in there trying to grab a few CS. A little cheeky.
A little cheeky indeed. GG seems to be pushing that lane out. Crumbs look to the top to spot for a gank, and it's actually just Lee Sin and Riven recalling back right now. So no early Russian has yet really happened, or I should say succeeded for either team. Just 4 minutes in, and you've actually got the almost most awkward of 2v2s mid lane, because it's the solo plus support, really.
Yeah, TF, he is ranged, and he does have a ranged stun, so it's not too dangerous here for Dignitas, since he's got the sustain from Sona heals. This 2v2 in the middle is really going to hinge on which jungler comes first. And as soon as one does, it's going to be about Daydreamin and his hooks.
Well, we'll see if Daydreamin can find one. Of course, big, bright red fists on him should let them know when they're coming. Daydreamin moves forward, seems to be pushing him out of range. We're watching Cutie Pie now. Once again, chilling up in this bottom half. He said his 1v1's good, but looks like Sona's being brought back over to support him.
Yeah, so they've pushed out the first time that they had Elise come in. They tried to shove it all the way to the turret and hope that Cutie Pie would miss out, but Cutie Pie just stayed there. He's been doing a good job of continuing to CS, and he has more than anyone else on the entire game.
Okay, so impressive play right there, and you can see just in the bottom of the screen the rest of the scores you might want to point out. The gold's still equal here 5 minutes in. Cutie Pie actually finding a little bit of damage from Jinte, puts the stand aside down, takes one turret shot, but otherwise seems no worse for the wearer overall, and of course has a Sona to sustain him back up, and they're just repeatedly shoving down towards Jinte's turret right here.
Yeah, you can tell Scar having to be a little bit more careful in the middle too because of that Blitzcrank threat. Crumbs even just wasting some time. He was trying to get in there for a counter gank, but it didn't quite pan out, and he's gonna have to recall. As Lee Sin, if you're not able to make some early stuff happen, it cancels his recall there, but if you're not able to make those early game plays, then it's gonna be a bit harder for you.
Okay, we'll see if he can recover from the lack of early plays here. If GGU have felt safe so far. You're watching now them last hit under the turret pretty successfully. And no team, you mentioned it, right? The Elysian needs to make the early moves. They've not quite found any just yet. We saw Nintendo once at the bottom lane. What lane's going to crack first here?
So this Karthus lane is what I'm most worried for, because Karthus, very early game, has a low base stats, and Draven is great at punishing that. You can get surprise kills even under turret, and you'll definitely have to watch out as soon as that bottom lane hits level 6. If there's a crescendo, then Karthus is just going to die.
Oh, they find the hook onto Crumbs, though. Down to half health right now. JDM is still trying to put damage down. Flash forward from Don't Match Me. Do they have enough damage? They do. First blood to Good Game University, and they back out safe.
The 2 versus 1 pays off against Dignitas here. GGU using Dignitas' own strategy against them. They do pick out the jungler.
It's just a very impressive play by Daydream, and they're just going to push forward. They've got a 2v1 against this turret with a minion wave as well.
Yeah, and Don't Match Me there. His CS looking pretty good too. Not too shabby. Nintendo just coming right through the lane here, but there's no more minion wave, so he's wasting a little bit of time.
Okay, so in the bottom lane here, we're looking at this one again. Axes come across. Jinte is taking some pain, but seems to be surviving overall. And this lane is just, it's turning into a farm fest for these guys with Draven and Karthus just picking up minions right now.
So Jinte basically using health potions as his HP 5 regen, just constantly spamming them there. He's been chugging them, pretty much chain chugging them, and he's got that tier also trying to stack that up as quickly as possible, because there's a few champions here that also like the blue buff. Elise definitely happy whenever she can grab that for herself.
All right, so that will be a fun thing for them when they grab it. Minions still going down. Nintendo has now started on that golem buff, as you mentioned. She might like it a little bit, but of course Karthus is down there. Seems to be lending a helping hand. Oh my gosh, that hook onto Scar though, max range. He's gonna try to lock the gold card, but will it not be enough? Oh, perfect cleanse by Mash Me, but he's not gonna follow up, so a summoner spell for nothing.
Ooh, very, very close right there. Scar does get out with his life. Now Jinte's got that blue buff, and he's level 6. If they had done that a little bit quicker, he might have been able to add Requiem and make the difference right there. Ooh. Oh, Scar in the fountain takes damage, but I think he's going to survive that one overall. Zion and Kiwi Kid actually still in this mix top lane. We don't watch them much, but you can see the minion scores 56 to 54, pretty equal, and they've just been brawling back and forth, and neither is falling over. Yeah, so we have some Dorans on both sides. We actually have 2 Doran's blades, a little Make It Zero-esque up here for Zion Spartan, trying to go more aggressive. That way I have Skara TPing in. He shows up and he gets hooked right into the middle of the enemy team. This could be bad for him. Requiem comes across as well. Skara's going to go down. Now Crumbs in the mix, but here comes I'm a Cutie Pie. Ult comes across. They both have to dodge this. Oh, the spinning axe takes down Don't Mash Me. Cutie Pie looks for some more pressure. Sorry, Crumbs looks for pressure here. Nintendo actually forces him away. So Scar getting a little bit too aggressive. Oh, the last blob goes down. Wow. That was Zach's passive, the second part of his passive, where when he takes that fatal damage, he splits into 4 bloblets. Not only can you stomp on the bloblets that he gets from just casting his spells, but you can smite the ones from his second part of his passive right there if the jungler was around. And you can also, if you're on the same team, teleport on those bloblets. So let's take a look at the replay from that top fight. All right, so we started off with that Requiem. The Ignite going to help a lot. This is the Let's Bounce ultimate from Kiwi Kid. He flashes away, but Zion has a flash of his own. And now you just have to clean up all 4 of these Bloblets before they all get back together. Because once they do recombine, you'll revive with a little bit of health. And Zion was so low there that he could have actually got the kill. And that was an incredibly close fight. And now I actually want to point something out. You mentioned about the potential bottom lane matchup with Draven with the giant glowing axe that lands versus Daydreaming with hooks. We saw the exact same thing with Scar with the giant glowing circle. Exactly. So there's also no excuse for Scar, because when you use your Twisted Fate ultimate, Destiny reveals all of the enemy champions. He knew he was teleporting into 3 people right there. He just was a little bit overconfident because Cutie Pie was there to back him up. They end up answering for another kill, so not too bad right there, but could have been cleaner. Okay, so 3-1 right now. You're seeing a 1,000 gold lead here for Good Game University. Golem buff being taken out. Looks like solo by Crumbs right now. And Dignitas, in sort of characteristic fashion, no, Matthew did not quite steal that one away. Nice attempt. But in characteristic fashion, now Dignitas have their 2-on-1 mid finally. Yeah, and I have to say, props to Jinte. He, like we said, he matured as a player. He's been pretty good at these bottom, long lane, 2 versus 1 Karthus games. Karthus, he's very dangerous to go for that, but Jinte has been doing it really well here. He's got plenty of mana to go for a dragon when they need it, and Cutie Pie taking a lot of damage. A lot of pressure. The ult comes across with a crescendo as well. That is enough to pick up the kill. Nice job, Cutie Pie. Ignite's going to time out. JW will not find anything for it. However, GGU did pick up dragon for that. The single target damage of Karthus is extremely strong, especially when he has that blue buff to spam. You can see Zion there stepping on all the bloblets that he can. The passive, oh!
They're going to go in on this one. Will they find enough damage? Oh, a beautiful repel gets him out of range, or actually dodges the gold card. The rest of Dignitas push on forward. The middle turret has gone down to I'm a Cutie Pie. So first turret blood, first stone, I guess, goes to Dignitas.
You could see Crumbs there trying to get behind Nintendo to kick him back into the rest of his team, but not quite close enough there. Jinte shoving that bottom lane now that he got a bunch of free farm down there too. This Karthus is going to be scary late game.
He is going to be scary. You're seeing his scores do very, very well. And the pressure, his ult is up. Actually, all the ults are up for GGU. Problem is, they don't have a dragon to go for. They're in the lead. Do they make moves here, or do they play the laning phase?
Well, it's a good thing that they already did get that dragon, because they would have to watch out for the collapse of Dignitas. It looks like they're going to take another advance here. The middle turret going to go down first. That's going to be huge for them.
And there we go. Middle turret has gone down. These teams traded them back and forth. This game, only 1,000 gold separates them. Zion, again, fighting Kiwi Kid in the top lane. And I want to talk a little bit about this matchup because we, of course, first time we're seeing Zach. Just to FYI, Kiwi Kid is maxing his Q first and E second.
Yeah, and then he's got a 5-minute cooldown on that passive too, the on death passive, where he splits into 4 blobs. So after he did just die, it takes a whole 5 minutes. It's not constantly up. That would be a little bit too much.
Every single time, just bloblets. And in fact, if you kill the bloblets, they'll just resplit again.
Yeah,
it'll be wonderful. You'll actually never kill them. You just get them smaller and smaller and smaller.
I believe that's what we call anti-fun.
Yes, that'd be great. 0 kills the entire time, just slowly lurch forward. But in the mid lane, GGU actually still holding 3 strong right now. They're sending Jinte down towards the bottom. So these sort of quote-unquote mid laners, they are actually fighting head-to-head right here. But at this time, really, Jinte's a bit bigger.
Yeah, Jinte is really doing it. He's got that Requiem in his pocket right now, too. So if a fight did break up top, he could add that Requiem once again, which we saw was the difference in the last fight between Kiwi and Zanzibar. It was really down to the slivers of HP there, and it turned out the Requiem was the decider.
It was indeed. Now Dignitas actually making their own way around towards his bottom lane. These teams are making just significant roster moves to the different sides of the lanes, trying to hold turrets on and pressure different places.
Yeah, I mean, and it's looking really good for them too. I just want to point out one more thing about Zach here. He's building specifically to lane against Zion Spartan, all armor and HP. So he's getting extremely tanky here. Look at this bottom lane. There's so much action about to come up. They do kill the ward, but nobody goes down. It could be a 3-on-3 fight, plus Requiem going to come in from Jinte, and Destiny available for Skara.
All right, so a nice read by that telepathic Daydream, and realizing Dignitas waiting in the wings. Skara's ult is up as well, as you mentioned, so a lot of things could happen all at once. Nintendo actually still waiting around in the back wings as well. They might just try to bait Dignitas into a fight because Crumbs is still lurking around. Dig wants to force something here.
Yeah, the tension, you can feel it building. Now we have Elise backing off, and Scar's in position. Looks like they're just going to stay where he is, though. Doesn't pop that Destiny. They both get vision of each other, and the bottom lane going to be left to their own devices.
Not going to find much. Yeah, Crumbs finally gives up, says, you know what, all right, you knew I was there in the first place, but here we go, the top lane, it's going to be a battle, and Scar's not in position, so Kiwi Kid and Zion just trading blows, and Zion gets the better of that one by quite a bit. However, the numbers game went to Dignitas in the bottom lane. That turret now down at half health as Nintendo makes his way over.
Crumbs finally showed himself in lane, and so now Nintendo makes his way all the way back down here. Scar did not pull the trigger there, no Destiny coming off for the gank. And they're just going to stay in the mid lane to try and farm. These are sort of the normal lanes that you would expect.
For the first time in the game, I think. You're absolutely right. We have normal lanes for once, aside from the junglers camping out. Daydream taking a bit of poke here from Cutie Pie. Can he find the hook? He go, oh! Just barely out of range. Nearly lands that pull. Cutie Pie suffers a turret shot to deal some damage to one, and that's getting worked down very, very quickly.
So they're just going to keep on pressuring this bottom turret. They want to answer, get some distance back for that mid lane and go up in tower kills here. This could give Dignitas the advantage in towers. It's very low, and it doesn't look like GGU want to make the stand. They're already kind of backing off.
He's trying to go in on a Kiwi Kid, Ignite Pop Requiem as well, but Kiwi makes his way out of that battle, pumps his chest, fist in the air. I made it out.
All right, but that is going to give Zion some free time to work on this upper turret. You can
see
flashed for the kill, but doesn't get it.
He popped his passive. He actually popped it. He's reviving in the fountain right now. So it ticked him as he teleported back to base. Kiwi Kid is without his passive right now.
Another interesting interaction we're seeing with Zach here today, guys. I'm glad that we got him right as soon as he's available.
Yeah, so yeah, the last quarter second of recall actually won't cancel off of damage. Normally, he would have been sent back, but it's the blue buff being taken away right now. Scar is going to want that for himself. His first of the game. Thankfully, he's actually in mid lane for once, so he's nearby to it. So Scar is going to enjoy that cooldown reduction. Kiwi Kid making his way over there, popping out some of these minions, and he's going to be more or less safe here.
Yes, it's a very close game. GGU were able to answer back for the bottom turret with the top one. So we're back to even tower control, but the wards around Dragon are all pink right now. They're all red. They're all for GGU. They have the vision advantage, and there's another 15 seconds left on that spawn.
Well, thankfully for Don't Mash Me, he just picked up the red buff, pops ult towards the top, and clears minions away, which actually might just keep his turret alive for a little while longer. Kiwi Kid isolated in the top lane, and Dragon's coming up.
Yeah, this will be a 5-on-4 if Dignitas go to contest. Otherwise, going to be a free Dragon here from for GGU. Looks like they're just going to burn this one down. Zach actually walked down a little bit. He hesitated there, so he's missing out on some tower hurting time right now.
Okay, so that turret is going to survive for a little while longer. Again, another global objective going towards GGU, and there's the teleport in. Skara and Dignitas, they really want this top turret, actually, and I don't know if GGU are ready to defend anything about this or even counterattack.
So that would be answering top turret for Dragon, which is a common trade that we see, but GGU taking the opportunity to push down this middle.
Okay, they've got 4 right there. The recall coming in from Zach and Jinte just camping on the right-hand side, not doing anything about this. This turret down to half health. Mash Me Nintendo putting a bunch of pain onto it. Looks like they are forced away, bringing it only down to 2/3. Dignitas does hold that structure.
It looks like we have Zach trying to converge here, but Dignitas probably won't get that engage. Kiwi Kid's also building so that he can be just that really disruptive force in a team fight. He's got Sunfire Cape first, so just by standing around people, he's going to be doing damage.
And that's going to be useful for him, that tanky man that you don't want to kill first, burning people down as GGU keep moving their way around the map. It's you know, Zion Spartan, again, back in the top lane, looking for farm, taking golems down. GGU, their AD carrying support once again looming around the mid lane. The interesting thing I see about this, though, is a build we don't see much from Ezreal's. He's going for a fast, what looks like Muramana.
Yeah, Cutie Pie is known for his interesting builds, but now we have Don't Match Me coming out with one of his own here. The innovation. Everybody prided themselves on being the innovators in North America because they get so much flack from everyone else about being sheep and doing the same thing over and over here.
All right, so a bit of something you know, new here, at least in North America, for Don't Mash Me. See how that build pans out as we kind of look around the rest of the items. You've got a Lichbane finished here for Skara getting some damage. You got the Sunfire Cape you already mentioned. Bloodthirster done on Zion Spartan. Their items are definitely scaling up here.
Yeah, this is going to be a really interesting first team fight because this is actually a really close game. And it's going to be a lot, it's going to be really dependent on the positioning. If Daydream is able to start out with a pick on someone like Cutie Pie or Scar, it would just be amazing for GGU. Otherwise here, it's going to be Jinte taking the brunt of the damage.
Well, speaking of picks, they are going in. The gold card lands onto Jinte, but will they have the counterattack damage they need? 1 for 0 so far. Requiem comes across. Will GGU find anything so far? Just a 1 for 0. Dignitas have gotten out. Great fight.
Perfect way to fight when you're going against Karthus there. Burn him down and then immediately come back. You're trying to get out of his AoE. You're trying to negate that Requiem. Now they can heal back up with their Sona Sustain, and they'll fight a 5 versus 4.
Let's see if they can do that. Crumbs running off to the top-hand side. Wants to clear up the top lane, it looks. And GG with 1 minion wave here. Can they put any pressure down? Kiwi Kid. Nope, everybody's just there to defend it. The wave clear coming in from Skara as well. No pressure found at all for GGU. So, yeah, that 4-on-5 didn't do much of anything.
One thing we did see in that fight, though, is that not only can Daydream punish you for showing your positioning and giving that away, but so can Elise. He fired off the cocoon, so it landed right when Skara teleported in. Still got the gold card off, so they were rewarded with that kill.
All right, impressive play by Dignitas. So now, 5 on the map again for both sides. Most of them congregated towards this mid lane. The gold lead still just 700 up for GGU. Dignitas are pulling this game back a little by little.
Yeah, and in the team fights, what Dignitas are going to try and do is have Kiwi Kid launch in from the Fog of War, fully charge up his Elastic Slingshot, and then use his ultimate, the Let's Bounce, to knock people together for the crescendo from Patoy. So if he can knock people into a little group there, then it'll set up Patoy for one of those beautiful game-changing crescendos he's known for.
And that would be music to Dignitas' ears that they can get that kind of engaged. They're moving forward. Again, GGU trying to shove down this mid turret just with a brute force method. Getting it a little bit lower, a little bit lower. Right now the force is not with them. Dignitas pushing themselves back out. Kiwi could actually isolate in this top lane. So it's 5-on-4 in GGU's favor. They're not making anything out of this yet.
Yeah, Dignitas are able to shove them back here right now. And even though Kiwi Kid has no teleport, he's still able to shove that top lane with impunity. Zion Spartan's going to have to go through his own jungle and be careful walking up to that top lane.
Okay, so let's see. They are going to move on to this one-on-one right here. Don't Mash Me just burned his ultimate, shoving down that bottom lane, trying to make his minions push down. And no one from the Dignitas are actually there to defend that spot of the map. And again, we're just seeing these teams sort of spend like 20 seconds on one side of the map, then congregate back towards the middle, then spend 20 seconds on the other side of the map, then congregate back towards the middle. They're basically bashing heads right now, but none are finding the opening kills very frequently.
Yeah, and while they're all milling around in this top and middle area, the bottom lane for GGO just had a huge wave. Pushed on that bottom turret, a lot of experience was lost for Dignitas, a decent amount of gold. The bottom turret also taking some damage there, so that next point of contention actually could go down pretty quickly. The bottom turret and the dragon will both be up in about 50 seconds here, and we'll probably see more action on the bottom side of the map.
So how do these dragon fights going to go? Who's going to start it up? Who's going to win the fight? Where do these guys... Sorry, how do they want to battle for dragon?
See, whoever starts off the dragon is going to be in a worse position here. Neither of these teams want to be inside that pit. If either of them are in a confined location, then it'll open them up to the AoE of the opponent's team here. Like we said, Karthus got off to a really good start, and he has combined his Rod of Ages with his Seraph's Embrace. So his AoE damage, a huge threat right now. Meanwhile, we talked about the Crescendo already, and Zach setting that one up. So whichever team starts inside the pit is going to have to either burn the dragon down really quickly or catch someone off guard.
Okay, well, both these teams, as you've mentioned before, have ways to catch people off guard. That Destiny from Twisted Fate, the hooks out there from Daydreamin', and in fact, there are both. You've got the Destiny coming across. GGU pulling back right now, and they're just putting down words, trying to keep themselves safe.
Yeah, so they're going to spread out right here. It's going to be on Daydreamin' to catch a pick on someone besides Zach. They don't want to pull in the green blob.
And there we go. Wards are down right here. GG re-engaging on this right here. Of course, there's a ward.
Oh,
He gets Scar! Scar has to flash across the wall. Red team is slaying Dragon, but here comes the fight. Let's bounce come across. Nintendo off to the side. He lands a stun on a Scar. Will anyone go into this one? More poke coming across. They're kind of isolated, though. Will the fight begin? And yes, they get Scar for free. Crescendo comes across. Jinte in the middle of the enemy team. Dignitas getting completely crushed right now. And now he's channeling Crescendo. Oh, he loses his own ultimate. Crumbs just kicked him out of it. Crumbs will go down. They'll chase on a Kiwi Kid. Nintendo might just find this one, but the Requiem did nothing at all. And, well, they're still going to kill out this last pickup, though. They get a 3-for-1. Nice pickup there with the dragon as well. GGU, good fight.
Jinte's got an itchy trigger finger there.
Yeah,
Crumbs was very happy to silence that one there with a kick. And Dignitas actually got the engage that they wanted. It was a great initiate by Kiwi Kid there, but the rest of the team didn't look like they were ready to act on it, and his full ultimate went off there with nobody really following up. Skara had already been pulled in and blown his flash early, so getting chunked down meant that GGU immediately went to finish off Skara and snowball that team fight.
Beautiful coordination by them. So we take a look back at the scoreboard here and see what's going on. You've got a 3,500 gold lead for Good Game University. They're looking great right now. They've been not necessarily in control, but making a lot of good moves overall. But what does Dig do to get themselves back into this one?
I mean, it was really mostly that last team fight, so they have to not get down. They have to recognize what went wrong that fight, people getting caught out. You have to be aware of the Blitzcrank pulls, but you also have to initiate at the same time. You guys have to be ready to go in with that Zach. He does initiate. Oh, Scar going for a pick right now onto Nintendo.
All right, he's jumped up into the air. He's going to find Crumbs right on the back from the slow is there, but there's the rest of the team revealed by Destiny, and GGU are going to get out safe. Scar does not find much with the Destiny. Nice repel to keep him safe.
That's huge for GGU, actually. That's a pretty big cooldown. Now they don't have to worry so much about getting caught out. The mid-game TF, it really punishes a lot of people because for some reason, they always start to forget, and when all the outer turrets are down, you're vulnerable for a much longer stretch.
Well, the blue buff has been grabbed by Mashme. He sees Scar and the gang kind of coming over. They've both got wards down. Mashme does get out from this one. Wow, all of Dignitas are just looking for something. Actually, Zion Spartan's isolated.
Look at the damage here on this Ezreal with the Bloodthirster and Muramana build. The extra blue buff on him is actually really huge because he is pretty much a semi-caster right now.
Well, Zion is trying to run away, though. We'll see if they can catch him. He's running. He's got the Guardian Angel. Here comes Crumbs. He's going to be right in range. Flashes, lands the Q, and here comes a bit of slows. Will it be enough to catch Zion? He's level 16, still spamming shields. There's Daydreaming in the gang. Can they find a fight here? Looks like they've actually fully regrouped, so nice escape there by Zion, and they might just resume the push here, 5 mid.
Yeah, Riven extremely mobile, able to use all 4 of her jumps right there to get out of harm's way. He's also completed the main 2 items for Riven, that Bloodthirster, which scales all of your abilities so well, and the Guardian Angel. So when he does go down, you're going to have to watch out for him getting back up really quickly.
And that could be a very important fact for them now. Dignitas have regrouped themselves here. 4,000 gold really separates these teams in game 1, once again, of the quarterfinals. As best of 3 means re-qualification into the summer split of the LCS and the right to fight Curse if they can win that matchup here. That's something that both of these teams want. The loser not going to want to drop into the summer promotion tournament, but that might just be the fate of one of these 2 teams. 27 minutes in, game still fairly close. Where's the next move?
The next move is probably going to be up in the top side of this map. Now, everybody's got to start worrying about vision around Baron. So they're going to have to fight over pink wards around here, trying to get something in there. As long as your team has 1 ward around the area, then you can feel safe. Because while it's time to start worrying about Baron, it's not that late that people can sneak it so easily.
Okay, so Baron not yet on the table for either of these teams. Neither seem hungry anyway. Dignitas holding up in the mid lane, and they're playing more the defensive game, it seems, right now. You mentioned that the turrets go down and Twisted Fate can find you caught out because these lanes are so long. What are GGU doing to keep themselves from ever getting caught by this TF?
Well, wards are not going to be enough. You have to be very careful about when you're split pushing and who is the one that's split pushing. So we saw earlier Nintendo with that repel. It's a great tool for getting away when Scar does TP in with his gold cards.
Oh, that seems to be working very, very well for them. Dignitas, actually, it looked like it's Zion Spartan the one doing this as well. I mean, you mentioned slippery champions. I guess we did just see a Zion run across the world and get out. And that did work very well for them. Kiwi Kid is the one that seems to be given a lot of this farm on the left-hand side of the map. He's catching up nicely as well as his items come through. Sunfire and a Haunting, guys.
Pretty good pickups for him. Meanwhile, we do have a lot of damage. I was talking about nobody can really sneak Baron right now, but Elise plus Karthus is actually a really good combo for doing that. Since Nintendo is the jungle too, he's going to bring that smite along with all his percentage damages. So if they were going to try and pull something sneaky, they would have to pre-clear the Baron of wards and then just have Jinte and Nintendo try and 2-man that Baron while the rest of the team sort of keep Dignitas busy and try and fake them out. Because Scar's got a Destiny in his back pocket. If Dignitas get any whiff that you're trying to sneak something, they have that reveal.
Well, forget sneaking. They're doing it in full view of a ward right now. Just below them, there comes the Destiny as well. And GGU forced to run away right off the bat from this one. Watercuts come across, but they don't find much. Everything go for the flash pull. Oh, Scar forced to flash away from that one as well. Trade of summoner spells.
So, good job by GGU actually forcing out that cooldown because they realized that was,
Next section is Kiwi Kid going in for this battle. There's the Let's Bounce. They find Jinte off to the side. A lot of damage onto him, and they're just focusing their efforts onto that poor Karthus, trying to get away from that one. Now Kiwi Kid in the front. Zion Spartan knocked back. A nice pull. Oh, they find Crumbs, though. Everything's coming across. Crumbs falls down. They trade 1 for 1. Here comes the Requiem. Is it going to be enough? Kiwi Kid taking some pain. There comes the Wind Slash. Knocks down 2. Cutie Pie barely running away with no health. Zion looks for Kiwi Kid. Kiwi Kid jumps across the map, getting away from this one. But still, it's a numbers advantage here. Zion Spartan gets a knock out of Patoy. The pull does not quite land. Patoy still losing health. Zion does not quite find a kill. Scar gets Daydreaming on the back right there. Nice pickup on that one. But this turret will be going down. 2 for 2 in the fight. Will GGU stay? Nuh-uh, they're running from Cutie Pie.
Yeah, home guard boots. Huge threat right now. Great buy by Cutie Pie. He gets right back to the front lines, able to save that inhibitor. It's interesting that Zion has built that GA too. He's going with the semi-revive here to try and combat Zac. They're both on 5-minute cooldowns, so they both sort of have the same mechanic here where they're trying to get into the team fight and they have this extra life sort of to rely on here. For GGU's perspective, if you're going to initiate on Jinte like that, then they'll take that fight because that's the one person that they're okay with going down first, and it turned back in their favor.
Great job by them, of course, in that battle. We look now at Cutie-Pie trying to scale himself up through this game. Now, you mentioned for a while the sort of interesting item builds coming out of Ezreal. I actually want to compare the AD carries, though, and their function in this match. So you look at the Ezreal pickups, a lot of cooldown reduction, you got the Iceborne Gauntlet, whereas you've got like straight up damage output from Cutie-Pie. Who's going to like function better in team fights?
I feel like that is in reaction to the different styles of their top laners. Like Dignitas are like, okay, we need another huge source of damage because Kiwi Kid is going super tank mode right now. Meanwhile, we have Skara going to go teleport and try and catch Jinte here. Just a little stun. But the Ezreal, he's gone more utility-based because Zion Spartan, he's putting a whole bunch of damage himself. So they need another means of kiting there. That's why he's gone with that Frozen Fist on top of all the extra magic damage that he has. Or excuse me, they changed it to physical damage in the last balance.
Yeah, a lot of physical damage there from Nintendo. Getting away from Crumbs right there with Repel. Nice escape. Nintendo has been on point with Repels the entire game, dodging gold cards, dodging Lee Sins, dodging a whole bunch of everything.
Yeah, he's had plenty of practice too. We've seen him use it not only a lot in the LCS, but that's one of his favorites in scrims as well. Dignitas is going to take this opportunity to grab up some free global gold, take this dragon. They have really good ward coverage around both sides of the map here. Each team can actually see this Baron, so it's not going to be too sneaky. There's an exposed inhibitor right now on Dignitas' base. So if GGU want to force a fight, they don't have to do this this Baron rush again. The only reason they're doing that is because they saw Cutie-Pie bottom lane. That's an AD carry. He has no teleport. He has to run all the way over here.
And look at the health bar. It's down below half already. They're just putting in a ton of damage on it, and they get it. They just completely just face check and destroy Baron Nashor. Daydream are going to sweep out some wards, and Dignitas are like, all right, we're just going to back off.
No hesitation from GGU right there. Like I said, Cutie-Pie in the bottom lane. It's this late. Anytime you see someone down there without teleport, it automatically gives you a free path to Baron.
And that was a free one right there. Great pickup by GGU. And now they're not quite looking at pushing down the front side because you've got a couple of guys recalling back to base. So maybe after a quick item buy, GGU going to make a push in.
Yeah. Now that, like I said, there's an exposed inhibitor here for Dignitas. So if GGU want to force a fight, which they definitely do now that they have Baron buff, they can easily just walk right up to that inhibitor, start poking at it, and see if Dignitas respond.
We'll see what the response ends up being. Jinte farming in the bottom half of the map, looking to make sure the moves go forward. Mashing puts his ult across, and look how defensive he's being right there. Kind of a little afraid that Dignitas might be showing up, and then runs away with the last Q. So the waves have been cleared. Looks like they're going to go make one last attempt to buy, and then GGU's push may just begin. Yeah,
we saw sort of a similar mentality among ADs there, but they both wanted to farm side lanes, but Don't Mash Me being very, very careful about it. Poking in and out from Vision here. He does go back, and he knows the rest of his team has control of the map. Since there's that threat of Baron buff right now, and they have Oracles, it'll be very dangerous for Dignitas to come outside at all.
Okay, so Dignitas mostly standing inside, actually. Looks like it is their curfew. They'll be staying indoors for now. Cutie-Pie waiting for these minions to reach him at the front steps, and they'll be taking these out. The rest of GGU are just piling in now towards his mid lane. Bottom lane, nah, we want the mid right here. Daydream waiting across the wall, looking to hook something.
So some plays could come from Skara here. He's finished his Zanya's Hourglass, so now would be the time if he would be able to bait out the hook or
well, he gets the hook and he immediately pops his own. He's a beautiful crescendo. Here comes Let's Bounce. So much damage coming across GGU. Zion Spartan forced to GA. Kiwi still in the middle. Nintendo trying to put some damage as well. Kiwi dropped lower and lower and lower. Can Zion get out? Windslash picks up one kill, and there comes the Requiem, and that's going to find a bunch of damage. Not deaths. And oh, amazing shots right there, picking up two more. They found 3 for nothing, and GGU are still in Dignitas' base.
Ooh, Daydream lands the hook there, trying to pull Skara back, but Don't Mash Me kills him on the way in. There's just too much guaranteed damage from this Karthus. We were saying he's going to be a problem late game, and he definitely is.
Yeah, a big problem it was for Dignitas as they will fall down 1-0. GGU win game 1 of the quarterfinal, and they're 1 game away from the semifinals.
You can see how amped they are right now in the team cams. They are so excited. They are on the road to victory.
And it's so impressive. You look at them and how pumped they are. They're not even done yet.
No, that's just the first one.
Like, I've seen BO1s where it's like, all right, we won. We're done with this series. And they're like, all right, that was good. Like, well played. But here they're like, we got another minute to go. Don't care. Oh, my gosh.
So they know that everyone online is voting for Dignitas. 85% people expected Dignitas, or still expect Dignitas to come out with this one. So understandably, GGU are excited. That was an upset in the eyes of the online community.